Jackie Lambie says that it's un-Australian and this is the lowest of the low. Isn't the lowest of the low the most un-Australian act the fact that we had special forces soldiers in Australians' name murdering at least 39 innocents?
The lowest of the low is that you continue to stand here and accuse them of crimes that they're about to stand in an investigation and must stand in court. No one, including the Prime Minister, is judge, jury and advocate and should be allowed to change the powers that can then punish collectively or individually any Australians. So here today we are saying that the allegations are confronting, are shocking and if proven are un-Australian. But what is un-Australian is not affording the due process, standing up an entire office of the Special Investigator, changing rules behind closed doors. We want it brought to the forefront, we want due process afforded and want the Australian public to know what is going on.
Murders mentioned about 184 times in the Brereton Report. It's obviously not done lightly, a report of some 4.5 years. Do you think that these offences, any of them, are true?
I think that these offences have to go to be proven true or otherwise by qualified legal people through the Office of the Special Investigator. I call on the government here and now to help the Australian public and the military to move forward from this investigation that was 7 years ago, allow those who have to answer for any alleged crimes to do so, but now to support our veterans, our families, and now having shown that they've spent over the last 6 months premeditating actions without supporting them, it's unexcusable. They have lost my trust and they have lost the trust of so many veterans and their families.
Those accused of the 39 alleged murders of Afghan civilians and prisoners of war, shouldn't those soldiers have lost your trust too?
When they are proven to have done so, they will have lost my trust. Again, why are we making decisions here and now on credible information and not allowing due process? Can we please have these conversations when we actually have facts proven through the legal process and not opinions? I was there on the ground. I do not see these things. If any of you here were on the ground and saw them, please feel free to speak up. Otherwise, let's allow the process to do what it's been designed to do under our democratic system.
But isn't it the case?
Contained in the Brereton Report? Then?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Do you believe what is contained in the Brereton Report and what the Chief of Defence outlined about 3 weeks ago?
I believe that these allegations are shocking and have to be now passed on to criminal investigation.
But isn't it the case that the whole unit doesn't go on trial, individuals go on trial? The Brereton Report was looking at the behaviour of the whole unit, and that's what it's judged in the Brereton Report. That doesn't need to go to a trial. That's judged by defence, isn't it?
So the Brereton Report is judging the behaviour of a unit 7 years ago, as at the last report. Right here and now, the unit, including 2 squadron and 3,000 Special Forces personnel, are being judged on actions and opinions of culture from 7 years ago. How do you do that? I don't know. A report has gone on for 4.5 years. I'm looking forward to that report being pushed forward to the Office of the Special Investigator. I was there as a part of that culture. I saw warrior culture that saved lives. I also saw situations that were beyond any comprehension. I can't make the decisions for everyone who was there. I can just talk to my own lived experience. And as an Australian, stand here, ask for due process to be afforded.
On the disbandment of 2 Squadron, reports of, I think you're saying that there's 60 to 65 operators and reserve operators and SASR who are threatening to stand down over this. Mm-hmm. That's not something that can be tolerated by defence, is it? I mean, part of the Brereton Report was the fact that junior officers were basically running the whole show, and now you've got a whole lot of soldiers bucking the orders of the CDF. Do you think that defence is going to stand for this?
So what you're seeing is soldiers and officers who have lost the trust of their senior commanders. We are talking about soldiers and officers who served in the unit during the 6-year period, during the Special Operations Task Group. 2 Squadron has been around since the 1960s. I'm getting calls from Vietnam veterans, Borneo veterans, confronting and Iraq veterans. They are in outrage. 60% of the current unit never even deployed to Afghanistan, and they're all being collectively punished. They are being outraged by the values that are being demonstrated in collective punishment, in people being punished who weren't there, in people who served, fought under that insignia, to have it removed and stripped from an already volatile mental health crisis situation that we are currently in. They are putting in their discharge because they have lost trust that the government will have their back if they ask them to go overseas again and risk their lives.
What about the trust of Australians in these 60 to 65 SASR people. I mean, how can we trust them to follow orders now?
Well, all that I know, with over the 70,000 Australians who joined our petition for this citation alone, and the 100,000 more who are contacting and emailing us, that they have the trust of the Australian people, and the Australians have the trust of our government to allow them to be afforded the due process and to be proven guilty. They are innocent until proven guilty.
Have you spoken to any of the accused? If so, and Jackie as well, what's their mental health like at the moment? What are they telling you? And also, you said that those soldiers have lost the trust in the leadership. What does that mean for the Chief of the Defence Force, and is his position tenable right now?
I'll answer the second half, then I'll pass over to Senator Lambie. So I have lost trust in the Chief of Defence Force and the Chief of Army. Behind closed doors and being informed by the defence public, I am hearing what is going on. I am hearing of soldiers receiving disciplinary and administrative action for commenting and liking Facebook posts expressing their opinion. Directives being pushed down through the Defence Force, preventing any defence person from speaking out. Actions being taken against associations who are stepping up to support their members, who are suffering the mental health scars of some of these decisions being made, and a lack of care being afforded to any past serving veterans and their families through decisions that have now been premeditated. I have lost their faith. Many other veterans have. They would be here speaking up if they could, but they cannot. That's where we're at.
Heston, what was your own experience with the Brereton inquiry? How many times did you speak to the Justice, and what did you tell him?
I would like to state publicly here that I'm not one of the accused. Over the last week, I've received some attacks in the media claiming that I was potentially one of the accused people and are stepping up here in order to cover myself. I'm not. And I deployed over there and I lost soldiers over there, and I saw exactly what the war was like over there.